Hey guys, so today we've got a set of Camzo 4S1 UTV tracks going on to our 2002 Suzuki Carry DA62T. I've already got a 2-inch lift on it, and today we assemble. So I've got the kit opened up already. Comes with 1-inch spacers, comes with fresh lug nuts, rear anti-rotation brackets, or rods and brackets with hardware, front anti-rotation brackets with hardware. So the front ones are already set up with the anti-rotation bar on them. The rear ones will get these longer rods. So we're gonna get the old girl jacked up, pull the wheels off, and start going through the kit. Also, we got Manuel's. My buddy Manuel is here to help. I was looking through this one earlier, and it's actually pretty good breakdown for the Carry. Like, it has every step, and it's pretty specific, and it looks pretty straightforward, so I'm pretty happy about it. Always happy with pictures. So let's get at it, and we'll see how she goes. Okay, so step one. You can tell by their instructions this is already going to work out. So we got our wheel spacer taking us from 4x100, which is what the Carry is, to 4x114.5, which is what most ATVs are. The tracks actually have mounting kits for 3 different stud patterns, and this is just what came with. It is a 1-inch spacer. So I just torqued them down to 95. So I just got a call from work saying there's another parcel for me. In this parcel was some instructions for mounting my kit and some extra parts. So I'm glad they called and it showed up when it did. So it turns out my brackets for the rear anti-rotation kit, the slide up, let's see if I can show you. So they slide up on the inside of here, basically on the inside, bolt up to this bolt that holds the leaf spring. So you can see here, that bracket does not go far enough ahead to like snug up in here. So I need to cut this bracket here, and I measured, I need to extend it about 7/8 of an inch so that it'll slide up, sit flush against there, and still bolt in. So I'm out just a hair. Also in my instructions, on the front anti-rotation kit, I need to remove this spring, put on my rubber bushing, put on my spacer, and bolt it on. So for some reason they don't want the spring on here anymore. Okay, we're back. We got our brackets extended 1 inch. You can see where the old connection was. This is all new and then re-welded. So both sides are done. Now, first step in my new instructions is saying to put the left side on the right and the right side on the left. So they are marked. Get a DXL, and it's kind of hard to see, but there's a DXR right there. So I'm going to put the left side on the right with the bolt that's going to go through my frame and get at her. First we gotta pull the leaf spring, drop that down, and throw this baby on. Okay, leaf is out. Oh, you fucker too. So that doesn't fit. That needs to move. Okay, so far, step number 1. Bracket goes on the inside of the mount. It doesn't go because I can't see it from here, but there is a brake line up there. This brake line here is mounted to the inside of that bracket, so I gotta move that. Second problem is my bolt that goes in here does not work because of this bottom 90 degree. That's supposed to go there. It won't sit flush because of that. On the pictures it shows it hanging out the bottom. So maybe on the older ones this bracket was higher up. So I'll just zip that off and undo a brake line. Angle pieces cut off. Let's get her in. I didn't end up having to remove that brake line bracket. I was able to just pry it up and out of the way, so hopefully that'll work. I need some hardware. Might be on to problem number 2, or 3, or 4, wherever we're at. Oh, yeah. Okay. So that hole's through there. That bracket. That hole does not line up. We're only showing about a half a hole. And nut is through, the bolt is through the bracket. So I gotta re-drill that. Okay, quick recap. Wheel spacers are on. Torqued them to 95 foot-pounds. New bracket is in for anti-rotation. It's been extended 1 inch. And I actually had to drill this hole about a 1/2 inch lower just so it would bolt up. It didn't actually line up. The shackle bolt is in and torqued to 65 foot-pounds as per Manuel. And we're basically ready to roll this track ahead and try bolt it up to the hub. So that's where we're at. This part could be a bugger. I think that's I'd have to go down just a hair. So you can see where we have 3 different holes for different bolt patterns. I'm using the one furthest right. So I think we got her there. We're gonna push her on and see how she bolts up. Perfect. You can see how this is gonna be a bugger. Gonna have to rotate this track when we tighten them up. So we're about 1 1/8 inches short on my bolt hole. I talked to the place I got the kit from. They say to jack up the suspension to compress it to make that work, but I'm hesitant on that because either it's going to load up my suspension and reduce travel, or this spring, I was looking in the instructions, and once I have it on, I need to tighten this up where it's snug, which, I mean, it's probably gonna be right on the end. And then turn it 1 1/4 turns to load the spring properly, and that's what adjusts your angle of attack on the track. So if I jack this up to compress things, or like, I kind of think it's just going to pivot this track, and then once I let it down, my angle of attack's going to be like pulled forward. I'm going to try it just to see, but I kind of think I need to bring this bracket back, punch a new hole here, and then I'll have at least some adjustment in here. I mean, I could cut this and extend it. Then if I ever do get rid of these and they want to go on something else, it's not going to be right. I think I'd rather change these brackets so that it's specific to this truck, and the tracks can be whatever, you know, they're the same as the way they come. All right, we got to look at this. I'm gonna jack this up, and we're gonna go from there. So it is getting closer. But it's really jacking up the front of the tracks to do it. Let's try that. One other thing I noticed is this bushing is supposed to be in here like this, but the bracket actually fits perfect without it. So let's just put that on to hold it. Let's let this down slow and see what happens here. But I don't really like it, you know. Okay, so second thought is that I jacked up the track to get this anti-rotation bar to fit. And it will work, but after looking at this thing, I don't have the front tracks on yet. And it's going to change quite a few degrees when I put the front tracks on. It's going to lift the front, it's going to want to pull this bracket further forward when the front comes up and pivot even more on those tracks. So I'm going to unhook the anti-rotation for now. We're going to move on to the front tracks, and then we'll worry about anti-rotation. And if I got to pull those brackets off and weld them, I got to pull them off and weld them. So I did the other side already, so I don't look like a complete idiot when I do this. But we're going to pull the tire off. We're going to put our spacer on, and we're going to put on our front bracket. So let's get rid of this. Put on this baby. Just give that a scrub. Okay. Our spacer on. I've been torquing them into 95 foot-pounds. I went and engaged the four-wheel drive just so that these hubs wouldn't turn when we're trying to do this. This part is you can't really get in there. Oh, baby, you're so close. There you go, that's one. Bolts on. Now it says torque it down to 52 foot-pounds. So next up on my Suzuki Carry specific instructions, we're pulling this spring off of the anti-rotation bar. We're going to add this bushing, rubber bushing, and this piece of aluminum square tubing. And I'm going to guess that that's just to limit the amount of travel that we're going to have on here. So let's go ahead and do that. There's your bottom note. Hey, that's that. And we're going to pull the mud flap off. There's one. There's like 4 Phillips head screws in here holding it on. So I don't think we're going to clear it. There you go. One thing that's a bit of an asshole on these things is it's definitely hard to get these lugs on and torqued. You can't get all 4 of them at the same time. You got to rotate it, so that part's a pain in the ass. Okay, we got the fronts are on. The backs are on. I don't have anti-rotation bars on the front or the back. I was worried about the back ones not being long enough. Once I lifted up the front, we're like an inch and 3/4 back from where we need to be. And that bar is extended as far as it's going to go. So I'm going to pull these brackets, get a piece welded on the back of here, drill a new hole, and extend it. So it's unfortunate, but I kind of thought that's how it was going to be. I think there'd be too much pressure now jacking that up. I just don't like it. Jacking up the rear end to swing those tracks forward. Because then that kind of defeats the whole purpose of the settings for the anti-rotation. Next up is our front anti-rotation bars. We're going to loosen these off. Let's give her a couple turns. You're real close. Real close, eh? Oh, that was close. This guy goes on. We're going to want to put this guy on. That guy on. Flat locking nut. Like that. Wherever you are, like that. Okay, so I'm gonna snug these up just to kind of tighten everything up a little bit. And then what we need to do is watch our level bubble here, and we're going to adjust our angle of attack. So the bubble's at the back, so I got to go up on the front. So what we're going to do is thread this out to push the track forward and bring this bubble into the lines. Okay, so next up, we're going to trim our bumper. So I think we're going to go, looked at a lot of pictures, they kind of start around this second front louver. So we go about here, we're going to come in, and then we're going to taper down to, I think right around where that little dip comes. So there is, on the inside, like a bit of metal, like that'll be the actual bumper part of it. So we're probably going to end up cutting that a little bit. That's totally fine. I think we're going to be all right. Okay, well, I gotta say, I know a few people in the auto body business. You'd probably be pretty disgusted by what just went down here, but considering I don't care too much, I think it turned out pretty good. Okay. We're there. Perfect. That's that. Okay. We are on. Tracks are on, and our rotation bars are on both. I did a semi-set on the attack angle for the front tracks, and we still have to adjust the back ones. But before I do that, I want to just back it up, do a turn with the wheels, you know, tap the brake a few times, kind of get the suspension set in, because I had the front jacked up, and you can tell tracks just aren't sitting level. You can see how they're tipped out on the top. So I want to just kind of do a little maneuver with it, go back and forth a couple times, move the wheel, and I get things set in, and then we're going to get everything adjusted. Oh, my antenna. Okay, we're under the front tracks. We're going to set our angle of attack. So when I first put them on, we set the level bubble. And you can see now, I don't know, maybe you can, it's just a little bit out. So I need to pull the front down just a hair, I think. Because my level bubble could come forward a bit. No, I actually got to lift the front up. So in order to lift the front, we're going to extend this bracket and push the front forward. So let's loosen that up and give her a go. We're out on the lake and it handles. Actually rips pretty good. I'm in 4-wheel drive, so you can see there's not much snow here. Couple inches. It is not very quiet in here, I'll tell you that much, but there's not much snow. You really know when you get to some spots where there's not much and a little bit more, it definitely makes a big difference with how loud this thing's running. So here I parked with the wheels. They're full locked over to the right. So you can see we've got lots of clearance. Cranked all the way over, so I'm pretty happy with that. I'm on the bumper. Yeah, I think it looks pretty good. It's handling pretty good. It steers fine. Like I can steer with one hand, no problem. So, yeah. It's not the best test because there's really a couple inches of snow. Top, see? Maybe 3. But we'll go a little further down the lake here. And we'll spin around and head her on back, but not bad for a, inaugural run. I'm pretty happy with it.